Hey everyone, this is Chaos Chrono back with another deck opening for you guys. Hope everyone's doing well and keeping up those reps on the Crucible or anywhere else that you're able to play. We are moving on to our 5th deck for this series of mass mutation decks, and with that, let's see what we got. Alright, looks like an orange Archon. We have Logos, Shadows, and Untamed. Nice set of houses here. Deck name is Despot, Raven, Hadberg. I feel like I've been getting a lot of Despot titled decks here. But let's get this open off screen and see what we have. Okay, so let's put down that card there and let's get this set up. Okay, starting with Untamed, we have Xenobeast. That is enhanced with a damage pip. 4 power, Skirmish. Fight, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 into your hand and 1 on the bottom of your deck. Great card with Skirmish, so that's always nice to see. Pose Pixies. 1 power, Elusive. Amber that would be stolen or captured from your pool is taken from the common supply instead. That is some good Amber protection there. Niflgrounds, Artifact. Amber when you play it. Action, choose a creature. For the remainder of the turn, that creature loses Taunt and Elusive. Kind of like those effects with Niflapes and such. We have Low Dawn. Amber pip when you play it, and it's enhanced with the damage icon. Play. If there are 3 or more untamed creatures in your discard pile, gain 2 Amber. Shuffle each untamed creature from your discard pile to your deck. Great card. Amber Spine Mongrel enhanced with a draw pip. 3 power creature. Hazardous 3, and after an enemy creature reaps, you gain 1 Amber. Resurgence with enhanced with a draw pip. That's okay. Looking forward to this Logos. Oh, but it also enhances the draw pip, so that could be just that from Resurgence. Play. Return a creature from your discard pile to your hand. If that creature is a mutant, return another creature from your discard pile into your hand. Let's see if we got some mutants. Yep. Pismire. 4 power creature. While there are more friendly mutants than enemy mutants, your opponent's keys cost +2 Amber. Great Amber control card. Ooh, we have Keyfrog. Unfortunately not enhanced with the damage pips. 2 power creature. When he's destroyed, forge a key at the current cost. Very nice. Ghost Hawk. 2 power creature. Deploy, and when you play him, you may reap with each neighboring creature 1 at a time. Nice Amber generation. Cephaloist. 4 power creature. While you have 4 Amber or more, your Amber cannot be stolen. Again, nice Amber protection there. We have 2 Cephaloist. We have a Maverick Commander Chan. Okay, this is a true Maverick. This is not through Exchange Officer. Yeah, because there's no Star Alliance here. Okay, so it's a 4 power creature, normally in Star Alliance. Fight Reap effect. Use another friendly creature. Okay, this is exciting, and let's see what pairs well with this Commander Chan. Moving on to Shadows. Okay, Sacro Thief with 2 enhanced draw pips, 4 power creature with Elusive, and 2 armor. Alright, this Logos is really supplying draw pips here. We have Gambling Den. Ooh, one of my teammates is going to really love seeing this card. Amber pip when you play it. At the start of each player's turn, that player may choose a house. If they do, reveal the top card of their deck. If it is of the named house, they gain 2 Amber. Otherwise, they lose 2 Amber. If you guys listen to our podcast, you'll know who I'm talking about. Reckless Rizzo. 1 power, elusive creature. Action. Steal 2 Amber. Until the start of your next turn, Reckless Rizzo loses elusive. Not a bad price to pay for stealing 2 Amber. Miasma Bomb. Artifact. Enhances 1 damage pip. And as an action, destroy Miasma Bomb. your opponent skips the Forge Key step during their next turn. So, same as Miasma, but in artifact form, enhances damage pip instead of providing an Aember pip. And yeah, provides the same kind of effect. Shoulder ID, 6 power creature with taunt. Shoulder ID cannot fight. When Shoulder ID would deal damage, steal 1 Aember instead. Opportunist, upgrade, Aember when you play it, this creature gains elusive. And when you play it, the creature captures 1 Aember from the opponent. Nexus, 3 power creature, elusive. Reap, use an enemy artifact as if it were yours. At least that's 1 artifact control so far. Mutant Cuppers, 3 power creature, enhances 3 damage pips into the deck. Mug Aember when you play it, move 1 Aember from a creature to your pool. Deal 2 damage to that creature. Very nice. Look over there. Play. Deal 2 damage to a creature. If it's not destroyed, steal an Aember. Gamgee, enhance with the damage pip. 2 power elusive creature. Reap, if your opponent has more Aember than you, steal 1 Aember. Bow Nithing, getting to the end of the Shadow Suite here. 2 power creature. When you play him, steal 1 Aember for each Forge Key your opponent has. Moving on to Last House, Logos. We have Odd Clawed, a 5 power creature, and also mutant. Action. If your opponent has an odd number of Aember, steal an Aember. Do we see even Ivan here too? Neurosiphon. Action card. Aember when you play it. If your opponent has more Aember than you, steal an Aember and draw a card. Krizap, enhanced with draw pip. When you play it, destroy each non-mutant creature and gain 1 chain. We have 2 Krizaps, second one enhanced with a damage pip and a draw icon. That's great for taking out a ward and wiping their board potentially, especially since mutants are only in set 4, as far as I know. Vision Bloom, artifact. It enhances a draw icon. Action. The next time you play a card this turn, resolve each of the bonus icons an additional time. We're going to look through Logos for all those enhancements. Cronus, 3 power creature, enhances 2 draw icons. After you resolve a draw icon, you may archive a card. Looks to be pretty good in this deck. Opposition Research. Enhances 1 damage pip. When you play it, enemy creatures cannot reap during your opponent's next turn. Munchling, enhanced with damage pip. 3 power, skirmish mutant. Fight, you may discard a Logos card from your hand or archives. If you do, gain an Aember. I don't see too much archiving, so we'll see how good that is. Lethalogica. Aember when you play it, discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Logos card or run out of cards. If you discard a Logos card this way, put it into your hand. Nice cycling. Getting to the end of this deck here as we see things moving around. We have Infomorph, 4 power creature, enhances 2 draw icons. Those are great. We do have Even Ivan, 4 power creature. Action. If your opponent has an even number of Aember, steal an Aember. I think this is the last card of the deck. We have Diametric Charge. Aember when you play it, deal 1 damage to a creature with 2 damage splash. A little bit of board management, and yes, that is the last card. So with that, I'm going to get things organized and we'll see what we have. Alright guys, there's a lot to dive through, but let's start with the basics. First, let's look at the Aember count. So in terms of straight number of pips, we have 2, 4, 6, 7 Aember pips in, 8 Aember pips in this deck, including Gambling Den over there. That is the total number of raw Aember pips. Now we do have several cards that help us generate as well. Low Dawn will definitely help us generate if it shows up later on in play with some of our untamed creatures in the discard pile. We have Emberspine Mongrel that if the opponent reaps, then that's more Aember for us in our pocket. We have Ghost Talk. As long as there's somewhat of a board, we can net us some more Aember as well through Weeping. And of course, we also have some of the Aember control aspects that steal. So looking into that now, starting with Pismire, that increases cost control, or increases the cost of the opponent's keys for each mutant creature that we have. We're going to have to come back to recount just how effective that is. We have Bow Knitting, which is more and more effective over time. We have Gamgee, decent amount of steal coming from him as long as he stays on the board. Look Over There, always a nice card to have. Automatically steal one just by doing damage as long as it stays alive. Miasma Bomb is a pseudo Aember control in that it just prevents the opponent from forging, and again, if they do have artifact control that allows them to use it, that could kind of hurt you in return. So that is something to be aware of, so I might count that as a half. Reckless Rizzo is hard to get off, however, if it does, then it's definitely a nice Aember control piece there. Neurosiphon, Even Ivan, and Odd Claude all do some stealing, so we can attribute some Aember generation to them as well. So from the base 8, let's say 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I believe that is it. Maybe 14, just to be a bit more liberal with the amount. Oh, and with the Aember Spine Mongol and Ghost Hawk, let's say a solid 15 Aember generation, which is not that high in the overall sense. However, there is some combos in here that can further enhance that number. Below, one thing that seems to be lacking in this deck is the artifact control. Right now, as far as I see, is just Nexus in the bottom left-hand corner here, and it's a use function kind of artifact control, so we don't have any way to get rid of artifacts on the field, which can potentially be problematic for us. Next to it, we have the Aember Protection in different forms, so things that prevent the opponent from stealing from you or capturing Aember from you. The Post Pixies is definitely a great card to have, as long as it stays on the board, obviously. And we have the Double Cephaloist, which can come in handy. Now, the Key Frog obviously lets you forge before the Aember gets stolen, assuming you're able to and have the amount of Aember necessary when he's destroyed. Luckily for us, I believe there are 2 damage pips in Untamed as well. Yes, in Low Dawn and the Xeno Beast. Those are 2 damage pips and things that we can utilize towards getting rid of that Key Frog on the same turn. The chances are fairly low since that's 3 cards of the Untamed set that you would need together, but it is a possibility. Now, moving on, we have things that enhance draw over here, mainly Infomorph, Cronus, and let's bring Resurgence in here as well. They all enhance a draw icon into the deck. So as we see, there's one on Aember Spine Mongrel, there's one on Resurgence itself, and there's 2 on the Sacral Thief, and 1 on each Krizap. So there's one more card that enhances a draw icon that I haven't accounted for. So we have 6, and that's pretty decent. Lethologica will increase the speed as well, so that's not bad at all. Not to mention, with the Fission Bloom that we have in this deck over here, just bring that into the picture. With each enhancement icon we have in Logos, that can be doubled up. So our main targets would likely be the Aember bonuses as well as the damage and draw bonuses on the Krizap. Those are several options that are within Logos that we can utilize. There's a few other points that are particularly interesting in this deck, and let's reorganize this pile to focus on those points. Alright, we are back again, and now it is organized for the main focal points of this deck. But before I move into that, I did forget to talk about the Aember control number as well. So we have Pismire, obviously. We have Even Ivan and Odd Claude, 3 cards so far. And we have Gamgee, it's 4, Reckless Rizzo 5, Bonithing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards that affect the Aember control in some way. And I'll count the Miasma Bomb and average out the Miasma Bomb, Amber Spy Mongrel, Mug, and Opposition Research. Putting all those together just for 2, about a 9 for Aember control. Generation can be a bit higher with that Gambling Den, which is a highlight of this deck as well. Unfortunately, there's no real way to look ahead and make real good use of that Gambling Den. I think that pairs very well in Star Alliance for this set as well as the previous set. Or if you're very lucky, then it's just a weapon in and of itself. Next, we have Pismire based off the number of mutants. So, as you can see, we've pulled out all the mutants, and there are quite a few. Including Pismire itself, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 mutants in this deck. That is a pretty good number. That's almost a third of the deck that are mutant creatures. So we're never going to be shy of having mutant creatures on the table. And if you're playing against any other set, then you're definitely going to have the most and allow for that extra key cost control. With Commander Chan, we're looking at ways to utilize creatures. So we're going to have to move a few creatures from the top line down a bit. But some other creatures to be of note, we can utilize in Shadows, the Nexus for Artifact Control, Gamgee for Aember Control, and Reckless Rizzo for Aember Control as well. Logos, we have both Even Ivan and Odd Claude that can be triggered through Commander Chan. We can utilize Munchling to fight for us and get rid of a Logos card that we may not need that's in hand. So that's a pretty nice way of cycling through and just getting more draw power out of your deck. Down at the bottom we have Fission Bloom. We're looking at mainly the action cards and logos to see what we can play, but really anything with enhancements or bonus icons. In terms of doubling things up, we have plenty of ways to double up a Aember Pip. Mythologica, Neurosyphon, Diametric Charge, and we have draw icons and 1 damage icon on the Krizaps. So that second Krizap does look the tastiest in terms of what to pair with that Fission Bloom. Then again, we can pair up more or less anything since we're going to have more than 1 Logos turn throughout one playthrough of the deck. That's just hoping if we get the Fission Bloom down early. So yeah, that's the highlights of this deck. Overall, I was excited to see this house pairing as I knew it could move fast. The Untamed always has huge potential as my favorite house in this set, and generally overall. We have the Gambling Den, which is a great tool for certain players that really know how to maximize it, and I've been on the receiving end of that, and it's a very powerful combination to do, as if there's no changes in key cost for you, you can be essentially on check with 4 Aember. We have a nice Maverick in Commander Chan. That's just a coolness factor right there. And with a bunch of creatures to utilize, that's not bad at all. The type of Aember control, as with a lot of mass mutation decks I've noticed, is a little bit lacking in terms of the just sheer volume of Aember you can steal. With that being said, it does have the rating numbers, but in terms of performance, it's going to have some weaknesses in terms of the types of decks it'll play against. A high rush deck is going to be challenging to face off against, but there are plenty of tools this deck can use to challenge on its own and avoid any sort of disruption from the opponent. Things like Pose Pixies and whatnot to avoid any sort of Aember hijinks that's going to happen from the opponent. Going back over the numbers, we have roughly a 15 Aember generation. We have around a 9 for Aember control. Speed's going to be a little higher, probably in and around 7, 8. Artifact control and 0.5 and Nexus. And one more thing I forgot to mention in terms of rating was creature control. We have the double Krizap, we have Diametric Charge, we have some skirmish fighters, We've got the enhanced damage pips. So with all of those put together, looking at about an 8 for the overall creature control, which is not bad, albeit there isn't a wipe for all creatures. So within Mass Mutations itself, the crit zap may not be enough. And if you come across an Eden Star, whichever you like to call it, that can definitely hurt the board control of this deck. Looking at the SAS value, I do feel like this would perform better than any of the previous decks we've opened. With that being said, I do want to rate it close to a 70. It's still not very high, but it has several pieces that make this a fun deck to play. As usual, I'll post the image of the DOK page after this. We'll see how close I got in terms of the guess. Always be sure whenever you're opening new decks and evaluating them, even if they don't necessarily appear great at first glance, take them out for a test drive. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing to help support the channel. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And as always, be kind and happy forging.